Hello guys, and welcome to my series called How to Be More Awesome Than Your Cat. Alright, so let's face it. It's hard to be more awesome than a cat, really. They look pretty good, they're soft, and they purr. I mean, seriously, if I could purr, that would be a huge thing in my life. If people could express happiness by purring, you wouldn't have to have all this mushy, I love you back kind of thing. You could just sort of sit next to them and purr. I mean, wouldn't that be good? And of course, cats are also incredibly athletic and have amazing balance, and they also have the great ability to, if they ever do anything stupid, to instantly look as if nothing had ever happened, which most of us humans don't ever have. We don't recover very gracefully at all. And of course, cats can do things like leap across long spaces and catch birds out of midair and all that stuff. So cats are pretty awesome. The only way you're going to be more awesome than your cat is to be much smarter than your cat. So actually, this is a long way of saying that this series is about making your brain better and being a more interesting person. So, in the background, we'll be watching Borderlands 2, the Tiny Tina's Assault on Dragon Keep. Amazing DLC for that game, which I really love it. I'm having a great time playing it. So, and probably in this series, the backgrounds will just be games that I'm playing. The first episode is going to be about meeting people and how to have an interesting icebreaker and not bore them to tears and stand around awkwardly, which happens so very often. So I'm sure you've all gone into this thing. You go up and meet a new person. And you're like, "Hello, my name's John," and they're like, "Hello, my name's Paul." And then you sit there like, "So what do you do?" Boring. The single most boring icebreaker, if you're an adult, is asking them what they do for their job. The single most boring icebreaker, if you're a teenager / early college student, is asking how school's going. People do that all the time. The reason why people ask this is because they need to find a subject which the other person knows about or is interested in or is doing at the moment. And people of the working age group, it's pretty a safe assumption that they have a job somewhere, and people of the student age group, it's pretty safe to assume they're in school. Unfortunately, people are often really bored with their jobs. And like I said, the question is so commonplace. If they're meeting a lot of people that day, they probably already talked about it 3 times, and so you're really going to have your conversation dead end very quickly once you exhaust the work / school subject, and you'll stand there looking awkward. With any given person, there's like a million things you could talk about together if you knew all about them and all their interests. Unfortunately, finding those interests is a difficult process because you don't know. No one has their list of all their interests written on their foreheads. That is also an interesting tactic. If you know you're going to be meeting a lot of new people, you can write, "I like TV. I love gaming and Gears of War. My favorite book is Harry Potter," and then that way people would at least see you and either think you were weird, or they would at least talk about some subject which you were comfortable with. It's a workable method, but my favorite method is to talk about death. You will learn a lot about someone, and it will immediately take you out of the boring work-school zone that people get stuck in. And it might be a tiny bit awkward with some people, but hey, if they're awkward talking about the subject, then they're probably not a very interesting, diverse person anyway. So after the introductions, you can go on like this. So, now hypothetically here, Paul, let's just say that you're going to die, and you're going to be executed. But the catch is, you get to choose the execution method. You can choose anything. There is only one rule. You will die at the end of it. There's no way getting out of it. There's no clever, picking an execution method which somehow kills all the executioners and lets you escape. You are going to die. So that's one parameter. But besides that, go home free. This question is awesome because it will tell you a lot about a person. Let's say the answer, I think that, hanging wouldn't be too bad. Such a bad way to go. Or lethal injection, as long as it's sort of peaceful and you slip out easily, that could be a not too terrible method of dying. That tells you they're a boring person. Maybe they're practical, but they're not creative at all. If, for example, they say guillotine because I've always been curious whether or not your head remains conscious for several seconds after it's detached from the body, you got to give them points for something. They're curious and they've been thinking a little bit. But if someone comes off with something truly original and amazing, like, for example, I would like to skydive into an active volcano without a parachute, that person is an interesting person. Well, they're probably a little reckless and hanging out with them could be bad for your health, but you got to give them style points. And of course, you got your answers like they want to be whipped to death by gorgeous naked women. That means they're an immature moron who thinks with their penis, who, first off, they have probably greatly overestimated their own personal tolerance for pain, and secondarily, they just don't think things through. I mean, someone who thinks a bit will realize that any gorgeous woman who is willing to whip you to death while naked is probably also the sadistic type, which is going to whip your eyes out first. So, it tells you a lot about the person. It just does. So now I leave it with you guys. You're going to be executed. You can choose the method. What do you pick? Be sure to leave a comment which details your ingenious method. I look forward to reading them. And one other thing, if you think you're going to enjoy this and you want me to do a lot more, please like and share and let people know about it, because it's a little off the wall and it might be slow starting, but I hope we can get a lot of people watching these and have some great dialogues. Oh, I forgot to tell you my method. If I were going to be executed and I could choose the method, I think I'd like to have a cyanide capsule hidden somewhere in a gigantic tub of Briar's Heath ice cream, which I would just eat slowly, savoring every single bite, because I would never know if it would be the last. Alright, see you guys later.